Of course, I have to cough just as soon as we go live, just like Leandro usually has to take a drink before the camera goes live. But hello and welcome to the Gauntlet Plays Masks. This is a game set in the living world of Gauntlet City comics. Today, we have a wonderful panel of players, most of whom were gotten through the Gauntlet, one of whom is my longest time RPG buddy that I'm happy to have at the table. We are playing in the world of Gauntlet Comics, which is a living meta world of different types of comics, just like in like how Marvel has like the Avengers and Cloak and Dagger or X-Men and those different lines. We have different lines of superheroes. And today we are going to be introducing a new team of superheroes, one that deals with the issues that queer teens and queer individuals may be facing, and will be fighting in the pink zone of Gauntlet City, which is, I believe, Bellevue Ridge, which is, of course, every city, every town, every place is going to have a Bellevue if it's big enough, in America at least. But I am Ferret, also known as Sawyer. I'll answer to either. Gender-wise, I use he, him because it's the easiest, but I'll answer to any pronouns said with respect. And I am going to be facilitating the game. I will go around and let my players introduce themselves, and I'll just go in, let's do reverse character keeper order this time, and start with Sabine. Would you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns. I've played Masks before. I've played a quarterly series with Leandro of Masks. Do I introduce my character at this point, or?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. Then I'll wait.
And up next, David.
Hi, yeah, my name's David. I use he, him pronouns. Yeah, I've played in a few games of Masks before, but looking forward to trying this out, playing some new characters and with some new people. So yeah, thanks everyone.
My name is Will, and I've played Masks exactly twice, and that was with you. So
nice to have you back.
All right, and then I am Sydney, any all, and I'm going to be playing as well. I've got an issue with my laptop that I will need to fix very quickly, but I've played Masked a couple of times, but not very, very super familiar with it.
Okay. And we are going to be focusing on, I think this would be what several of those YouTubers would call the Marvel SJW phase, as we are focusing on characters that don't have just one background or one niche to fill in this world, but those who, I guess, have more than two dimensions to them. So we have characters that are actually impactful. And we have been brought together by, in the Gauntlet City world, there are gods, so to speak. These are a lot like the Kirby cosmic hero levels of powered beings, and we have been brought together by Quetzalcoatl, the rainbow serpent, who believes that if he's going to be associated with rainbows, they might as well be associated with the warriors who protect them, and has gotten together this team to fight under his banner. So your Professor X is a bit of a flamboyant god. So speaking of this amazing little feathered serpent who has brought you all together, let's go around and introduce the just give us the gist of your character, like their playbook, your and just whatever else you feel like sharing about your character. And again, we will go in reverse character keeper order and start with Sabine.
Okay, hi. Hello again, I guess. I am going to play Sonny Matsuoka. They, them pronouns, they're the last scion of a legacy line, which is the playbook, the legacy, of Amazon warriors, which is a bit weird because Sonny is not quite certain if they are female or rather not, and that is an issue with the whole family thing because they are all Amazons and they believe they have been chosen by these old Greek gods. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen, I guess. But they have powers like, yeah, like you'd see in someone who was chosen from by a god. So, and anyway, the legacy that Sonny incorporates is Sonia, chosen of Artemis, who uses she, her pronouns because her mother would be very weirded out if they went on to say, hey, I am not really Sonia, I am just Sonny. Oh, well. Yeah, and I can introduce all the other members of my legacy band, but I will shut up now and give somebody else the spotlight.
And before our join introduces himself, let's let their better half go first and have our Janice start.
Well, I'm playing Null, who is Alan Garcia, and I don't have much of his backstory filled out because we wanted to see how we were going to explain our powers coming from, basically. But he's and we both, if I'm right in the joining, we've both got secret identities, right? It's not like one of us is out and one of us, so we've both got secret identities. Okay, cool. Yeah, and we have the power of impossible mobility, kinetic redirection, heightened physical abilities, and we have. Well, you'll find out when David introduces himself. Our combination name.
And the latter half of our duo.
I will be playing Victor Garcia, also known by the hero name of Void. We are Null and Void. Victor and Alan are brothers. I think rather than doing the whole twin thing, I think I'm going to say, if that's okay, that Victor is maybe a year or two younger than Alan.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, he is. Aside from the whole superpowers thing, you sort of standard, normal high school kid. The pair of them, I think, are living here in the city with their grandmother, who they sort of share. I'm not going to say caring duties for necessarily, but they help her out when she needs it. So yeah, I'm in the joined playbook, which means, as you may have guessed, I'm kind of linked to one of the other characters. We share the same power sets. We share some of the same abilities and stuff. In this case, we are both masked heroes who are hiding our superhero life and our mortal life in as distinct as compartments as possible. And yeah, I think that's enough. I think that's all I was going to say for now. I'm now rambling, so thank you.
That's good. And our Doomed.
That's he doesn't talk about that. It doesn't matter. He's so I'm playing Hollow. Usually goes by he, him. He kind of has a look that he never really kind of goes out of. He doesn't have like a street clothes persona. He kind of looks like he fell out of like a 1950s like sci-fi space comic. And he is basically, as far as anybody on Earth is aware, a hologram. Like he will just like pop in and out of existence and just like walk around and explore. Like gravity doesn't seem to affect him. He'll just like walk up walls and do whatever. He can also do like psychic projections and make other holograms of different things and throw stuff around with like telekinesis and stuff like that. But yeah, he's mostly just like straight chilling and just kind of like wandering around like a ghost and kind of like following the team around, kind of like a lost puppy.
And I believe he's tied to the American Empire, the alternate dimension that tried to take over this version of Earth in the mid and late 80s.
Yeah, he actually properly kind of comes from that dimension. He's kind of like telepathically projected himself into this universe, and he likes this universe a lot better. It's a lot more chill.
Yes, and there's someone on the villain / oppositional team that comes from there and thinks the exact same thing, so you may have some common ground. Yeah, let's get into setting these characters into this world. So this is the modern generation, which is, as Masks puts it, 1990s forward. We are going to be set in the modern day. This is going to be early 2020. So we have the activities like there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's like whatever superheroic synonymous versions of those there may be, like Marvel's Hero Watch or Images Hero Tracker kind of services, and you may be able to find henchmen and mooks on this fetch list or something like that.
Yeah, there's like with like the riots in Chile, they have like a big camera on like town square, and there's just like a live feed you can go to where you can just check to see if there's a riot happening there, just so you know whether or not to drive through that town. I feel like they've got those kinds of things, like just in case, check for superhero fights before you head out.
Oh, there's got someone probably, like, no pun intended, made bank on like bank robbery check-in materials on your, like, an app on your phone. Is my bank being robbed by a new villain today? If so, go to the other branch. But yeah, whatever we want will be up there. You will probably be on television, on like, you will be a big deal in this world because you are the first, like, gay centralized team, or LGBTQ plus, to be perfectly more correct, but I will shorten it for, don't want to say that every time. But you can you can check with the like the backstory in Gauntlet City to be attached to whatever you'd like, but in general, we are in a new neighborhood of Gauntlet City that's never been touched upon. So we have carte blanche to create the world around us as we see fit. So we're not tied down by the meta. We are more just adding to it. So with that said, and our characters introduced, I would like to get to the backstory questions that every character has to help flesh them out. And this time, so we're not starting with Sabine, we're going to start with Sydney. So let's get these backstory questions answered.
Okay. Let's see. These are in here somewhere. Why are they not here? Sorry, y'all. Just got to pull up the playbooks proper.
Yeah, they're I know you have when did you first learn about your doom as the first one.
Why is this being terrible? Sorry, my computer hates me a lot.
You want me to just copy paste them into the chat?
Nah, I just got them. When did you first learn of your doom? I think it's been a gradual piecing together. He's known that he's in a really tough spot time, and that he's been looking for ways out of it for like a long time, and he's kind of slowly settled into the idea of like, okay, maybe there's like really not anything that I can do with it, and maybe I just really need to start thinking about how I'm going to spend the rest of my time and spread it out as much as I can. But there was definitely a moment when he first Amos after his powers kind of glitched, and if you can imagine a machine, like a self-repairing, like living machine that you would make to hunt and kill and eat tanks, that's Deimos. And he's kind of, it's been chasing after him for several months now. He's been kind of like fleeing from safe zone to safe zone to try to avoid it. But
And what I remember
he's
from
running out of bunkers pretty quickly.
And what I remember from your backstory is like you projecting into our dimension like shakes off Deimos's scanners a bit, correct?
Yeah, I have a the system that I use to kind of like reach out is also part of my defense systems. So if I pull too much energy from one to the other, it weakens my defenses a little bit.
Okay. So yeah, let me Okay, and the next question about your sanctuary.
Next question is, where did you get your sanctuary? It's in my bunker, basically. It's where I ended up holding up on like the American Empire. There's kind of like a place just like out in like Utah that just got completely wrecked during the fight between the two dimensions, and it's been kind of like uninhabited ever since. It's kind of like maybe not the radioactive, but kind of like a Chernobyl kind of like dead zone, and he's been kind of like out on his own out there for a really long time. But he kind of like stumbled on like this sort of military bunker, and he jerked rigged to like support him. And why do you pose your nemesis? Phobos is a kind of like a version of the same creature as Deimos, the one that's coming after me, except it's still on regular Earth. So it's really deeply satisfying to get to fight one of those things from an actually safe distance. And it's a way to learn more about the danger that he's in and try to get like a sense of what he can actually do to save himself.
So your nemesis is Phobos, who is a similar tank-eating monstrosity on Earth.
Yeah,
correct?
if you imagine just like a giant metal tiger thing that eats tanks, that's Phobos.
Oh yeah, I've seen Zoids. I can imagine it. Okay.
And then, who outside of the team is crucial to defeating your nemesis? Does anybody want to take a stab at that?
I would let me see if I've with the modern generation link, you can also check out like from the masks and people to see if any of those work. But no,
There's so many.
Yeah, I know. No,
There's so many though.
Yeah, no, you had an idea.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Null and Void got their powers from classic like lab experiment style thing gone wrong. And perhaps the person who can help you is the scientist who runs that lab, or like the person who was doing this experiment, like because maybe they're like deep into the interdimensional, like the American Empire incident, basically. They're obsessed with unpicking all that energy and maybe sending Phobos back to the American Empire, or maybe rescuing you from the American Empire, letting you travel from there to here.
No, I definitely think it's like somebody who's
You okay?
You were roboting a bit back there.
Yeah, I think Sydney's connection has gone right down.
Oh dear.
Oh, but I see the picture moving.
Yeah, I can see the picture moving, but I can't.
Okay. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I definitely think.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah. Should we move on to mine? We can always go back
Yeah,
to.
let's go to the Janice's backstory questions, and let me see who. Let me tell you about from who outside the team. Okay, got that written out. So the Janice questions.
Yes. So, when did I first put on the mask and why? I think I put on the mask first as soon as we got the powers, basically. I wanted to, and the reason I put on the mask is just to use these powers, like, and like flip around town and do all of, like, indulge just sort of like superhuman abilities and things like that, basically. So initially, the reason Null got into like superheroics and things was just thrill seeking rather than anything else. You okay, Sydney? Should we loop back for a final question, or?
Yeah, am I doing any better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that, but yeah. So yeah, I was just thinking probably somebody who's involved with the government and whatever organizations are in charge of like keeping track of stuff like that. Trying to figure out like records about like where these robot things came from, how they were built, and why, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll be with the Aeon Corporation, but we can invent the person itself.
And then why does the team matter to me? As I think Hall is just really lonely. Like outside of like this projection, like he's not from this dimension, so he doesn't know anybody here, and there is nobody back home, so he's just kind of like latched on. It's like he really doesn't have anything else going on.
Oh, there are people back home. They're just jerks. Like you live in an apocalypse world setting, and you're a masked character. It's not fun.
Yeah, no, I hate it.
Yeah. Okay. So with let's move on to the Janice again, and you were talking about like this person who did work on that gave you, and I assume that this person that gave you your powers also gave Victor his powers.
Yeah, so I was thinking one of my obligations could be intern, and perhaps I intern at the Aeon Corporation, and
Okay.
I was thinking that maybe in classic comic book style, right? Like Victor, like it was with me at the Aeon Corporation, and we went into an area we weren't supposed to, and got caught in the like the universe transfunctioner continuum and whatever, right? Like,
Oh, if we want to tie this together, maybe you're the reason Phobos is on the loose now.
oh, that's a good call. Yeah.
Like this wasn't as much an accident as the this wasn't like the ultimate transceiver exploding. This was the null gate and void restraints exploding.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. which is why we can redirect energy, because it was already redirecting energy from the first place. I like that. Yeah. I think the reason, yeah. So should we name the professor, the person who does that? Like,
Yes. Let's. I'm thinking. Like, do we want like to be someone who does work outside the company, or just like in Aeon as well? Because otherwise, it'd probably be like from professor or doctor as a prefix.
yeah, I was thinking a professor type. Like, I was thinking your classic Reed Richards, but without the superpowers, sort of thing. Like, yeah. I should have a name generator loaded up. That's normally where I go to for these things. I'm happy with any name. So
I actually, my gold generation character was a scientist. It is fine to like have like her great granddaughter being this professor.
yeah,
Okay, let's just do
that's perfect. Even
Lila Henry, Professor Lila Henry. That work for you?
yeah, Professor Lila Henry, who was experimenting with the captured Phobos creature, like machine.
If we, it's like, if we can learn how to control this will be great. If we can't, we can destroy it because it is safely ensconced. Everything is going so well.
And then we walked in there and we went it all horribly wrong. Yeah, I like that. Cool. So to move on to why do I keep a secret identity? I think that the reason we keep a secret identity, David, and I think we can. If you got anything you want to challenge or add about it, then feel free. But maybe the reason we keep that secret identity is because we don't want our parents to force us to move away from Gauntlet City. Because if they knew that we had these powers and these things, then they wouldn't let us just hang out with grandma,
Yeah, that sounds good. That was the sort of thing I was thinking.
Cool. Who knows about my dual identity? So this would be someone who knows about both our identities, I would say, because I think it's pretty obvious. I was always thinking with the join, like how we could make it anything not like massively obvious. I think the fact that like you would probably first suspect their brother, right? Like if you knew the secret identity of one of them, you're going to quickly work out the other one, right? So maybe the professor knows about our dual identity, Professor Henry.
Yeah, works for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Who thinks the worst of our masked identity? I mean, the Aunt May's always talking to Peter about that troublesome Spider-Man and like the menace that he is to the city, right? So maybe it's our grandma who thinks the worst of our masked identities. Like,
it could either be your grandmother or your parents or.
What do you think, David?
Yeah, maybe parents would be just to kind of double down on that. The city isn't a safe place for you.
Yeah, we blatantly like saved our grandma's like bus or something at one point, but like we caused like some sort of like catastrophic damage around, like collateral damage around it in the process, and they're like, oh, those two like freaks in Gauntlet City nearly killed your grandma. Like, you got to take better care of her. And we're like, Jesus Christ, man.
And like on a meta level, it also showed like several people in the GRSM community like will be kicked out from like one generation of family and taken in by another.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Why do I care about the team? Because it's because we do good, because we can do good, basically.
Okay.
And there we go. That's all of my questions answered.
Okay, next, the other half. Let's get to the joins questions.
Sure thing.
So your first question.
Yep. So the first question is, how did you and your other half become connected? So I think that that there's the obvious answer to this, which is that we are brothers, and that's a big part of our connection. But I think the specific thing is obviously this accident that we were in, or our origin story essentially. I think actually the one little spin that I want to put on that is that I think in the immediate aftermath of the accident, I think Null's power started coming first, and at first it seemed like maybe it was only him that had the powers, but then Void discovered that he did as well. Maybe maybe sort of when the big impressive light show went off, Alan sort of threw himself in front of his brother or something like that, and took like the brunt of the cosmic waves sort of thing.
Yeah, it could be like like I like the idea that you had a costume ready for when your powers showed up, but you didn't get to use it until you were saving your grandma from the bus.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So the second question is, who or what did you have to give up because of your connection? So I was going to, if that's okay, read this one a bit more broadly and more like just the fact of him having powers in general. So I think like Victor's thing before he well, still to some extent, he's a skater. He sort of did probably kind of figure skating, speed skating, and a bit of hockey as well. He's not like a big guy, but he's fast and good on skates. And I think that since he's got these powers and he now has this kind of control and stuff, he's had to give up his speed skating because he can't control his own powers when he's doing that. And it's obvious that he's that he has powers basically. With the others, it's with like the figure skating, with the hockey, because it's more about control and precision. It's a lot more easy for him to get to keep keep his powers in check. But when it's just like pure flat out speed, I think he realizes that he goes too fast. Essentially, goes supernaturally fast. So
that works.
The next one is someone outside the team thinks you'd be better off on your own. Who are they, and why do they think that?
Oh, it's apart from your powers, what keeps you together is next.
Oh, sorry, I skipped that one over. Yes, apart from your powers, what keeps you together? So yeah, again, there's the obvious answer that we're brothers and we are. That's a kind of a big, and we live together. That's all part of it. But I think as well, I think that they have both realized that they are more effective working together as a team than they are on their own. And maybe that will change in time, but for the time being, they're much more effective when they work together. It lets them look out for each other. Yeah.
Okay. So now who wants to keep you apart?
Yeah.
And this is someone who's been used a lot. There is this triple formed demon that has taken the forms of all the lawyers at the Ozrock and Ozrock firm of get out of hell for a fee kind of law services. And could be that one of them has given you vague offers of different types of work with your power set.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, being scouted by the legions of hell always sounds like fun.
Okay, thank you for that. And why does the team matter? Or why do you care about them?
I think Victor appreciates the social aspect of being on a superhero team. I guess it's because obviously he's keeping his identity secret. It very much limits who can actually talk to about it, and largely, up until meeting the rest of the team, that was his brother, and it was that kind of getting very like pressurized isn't quite the right word, but it's like, yeah, that kind of not having really anyone else to speak to about being a powered individual. So I think it's that kind of camaraderie and stuff that's the thing he cares most about the rest of the team for.
Okay. So yeah, up and last but not least, our legacy. Do you want to introduce your filled out legacy first before your question, or before the backstory?
I can do that, sure. My full out legacy, I have to find them though. Yeah, my legacy is an important part of, I guess, not Halcyon City, but Gauntlet City. My mother is Andromache, the chosen of Nike. Usually she goes in the civil world by the name of Andy, but Andromache is her real name. She's still active and prominent in the city. Andromache, Andy, she's kind of a fun person, right? She's a bit of a comics nerd, which is where the Sonya name comes from, and she's all out for fun. And then we have my grandmother, Penny Penthesilea, chosen of Hera, who's retired and quite judgmental about my mother mostly, but also about me. Well, yeah. And I have a younger cousin who's called Marina. She's the next possible member of my legacy, but she wants to be a veterinarian. So I guess, yeah. The Demagogue is the greatest opponent our legacy ever faced and is so at large. I have no idea if that's a valid choice. I just made the name up. Could be somebody else who would tie better into the whole shebang. So it could totally be Phobos, but I don't know if they've been around that long.
I think Phobos is probably has been around that long, but has been like in capture until recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Then just keep with the Demagogue. Maybe he's allied to this Lori demon.
It's not like the Demagogue could easily be like the super identity of like someone who has who does evil under the identity of the Demagogue. Like we may not know their true identity yet.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the Demagogue isn't the kind of guy who goes out and smashes things. He has people for that anyway.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So that's my legacy. And then I have those backstory questions. When did you officially become a part of your legacy? Well, I guess that was at the start of puberty when I started to show the signs that I had inherited, actually, the legacy's powers. And when Artemis showed up at some kind of function and said, "Hey, you're my chosen. Here's your bow. Go do good." It was a big day, actually. I mean, I was probably 12 or something like that, and we had a huge party afterwards because my mom was really, yeah, cool, Artemis, that's cool. And then she made a lot of virgin jokes. Yeah, that's my mom.
Oh no! Don't make virgin jokes to your 12-year-old daughter.
She's like that. She just wanted to annoy my grandmother, I think. What's the greatest accomplishment of your legacy? Well, I think they've been pretty active in not just defending all that's good and right, but also fighting for women's rights. That was Penthesilea mostly. She was very active in women's rights movements and stuff like that. And she's very proud of what she's done there. Like, you can be a superhero and a woman, and both is valid. You don't have to have a man in your team who tells you where to go and what to hit. You can hit things and still be feminine. Stuff
Would
like
you
that.
say like maybe the greatest accomplishment was forming the first all-female heroes
Oh
team?
yeah, yeah. And then taking out the demagogue who had bamboozled most of the male heroes with his bullshit, and Penny saw what he was really about, and she took him down. They
Oh,
took him down.
the demagogue had to have, of course, formed a team that was like creating something called like the glass ceiling, which would crush this dimension.
Yeah, something like that.
Because
Yeah,
that would have been in the 70s, which with that kind of Silver Age
yeah,
shenanigans.
yeah. Sure. I mean, she wasn't as young, and that would be what 40 years ago. So that kind of fits the timeline. So,
Okay.
how does the public perceive your legacy? Yeah, well, I pretty much just said these are women's rights activists, and lots of people like them because Grandma Penny was a bit of a politician, or still is maybe. Mom, not so much. She's not so diplomatic, but still, well, there is some murmur about feminism, and do we really still need that? And isn't that over? But, well, yeah, don't say that to her. She'd punch you.
Oh, lords, I love this family already.
Yeah. How does your legacy tie into your reasons for being a hero? Yeah, like I had a choice, right? I mean, if you're chosen by Artemis, and if you have a hero mom and a superhero grandmom and a superhero great grandmom.
So.
Huh? Sorry, I
God
didn't.
literally says so.
Yeah,
God literally says so. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and why do you care about the team?
because I don't have to be a girl around them, I guess. Mostly because I don't have to be the chosen of Artemis and all that stuff, because I can talk skateboard stuff with Victor. I guess that's I like skateboarding. I mean, I might be too fast, but still.
Because I can talk around stuff I like around them. This is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can tell them to call me they, them, and they won't flip a switch or anything.
Okay. We have been at this for almost an hour now. So let's take a break until the top of the hour. We will come back, do influence and the backstory, well, the
Relationships.
relationship questions, and when the team first came together. And after that, I'll probably have some loaded questions for everyone. So, yep, see you in 7 minutes at the top of the hour.
Hey, Ferret, look what I found at our supermarket today. I'll try to show it to the camera. It's Kinder Eggs with masks characters in them. So, I don't know. I haven't opened one yet, but I bought them.
That is cute.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Huh. So weird. Oh, there's a description. There's a night ninja and an owlet. And ninjalinos. Okay. Weird. Okay, sorry. I'll stop playing.
Okay, now that we're all back, I had to use the bathroom, so I only got the loaded questions out for 2 characters so far. So I will allow you guys to hand out influence and handle your relationships while I write more loaded questions, as a cheeky MC is wont to do. So, seeing as the joined will have to do the influence after the Janus, we'll do influence in left to right order, then swing back around from right to left to do relationships. So, Hollow, how about your influence?
My influence is pretty flexible. It literally just says these people are important. Give 2 of them influence. I guess let's just go with null and void. Seems like a straightforward way to do it. Especially since you guys have like a relationship with like the lab.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, up next, after you guys mark that on the character keeper, is Null.
So, mine is, I look up to my teammates. They seem to have the superhero thing figured out. Give 2 of them influence over me. And I don't think that Alan thinks that about his little brother, that he's got it figured out. So I think that's naturally Hollow and Artemis.
Sounds good.
So yeah, we need to have Void's decision on are you more open or more guarded?
I think
You're
we're
muted,
so,
David.
yeah.
So yes, so yeah, I basically have to decide whether I trust people more or less than Null in general. You know what? I'm actually going to say that I'm slightly less trusting of people than Null, as a matter of course.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, maybe not less trusting, but less.
So I have. I was wondering if maybe like in our like sibling dynamic, maybe like I'm the, for whatever meaning of the word, like the good son, and you're the sort of like the more tearaway one kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
I have an internship with Aeon, blah blah blah, and you're like, the more kind of like rebellious figure.
That sounds fair. So I am going to I'm going to cheat and read ahead on my thing. So I'm going to give out. So that means I give out 1 influence, doesn't it? So I'm going to give. I think that. Yeah, I think that Sonia has. Or Sunny has influence on me, as they are, they're an established hero. So I think I look up to them more. However, obviously, me and Null will now get influence on each other because we can't escape each other that easily.
Yep. And finally, our legacy.
I wonder, where do I put my influence stuff? Oh, there. I see. Cool. I found it. Cool. It's easy for me as well. I'm a part of the team, for better or worse, and I care about what you all think. You have all influence over me. Yay.
And after you've written that down, we can go to Sunny's relationship questions.
Sure. I have to find them though. They are here. I once got caught doing something that shames your legacy with, well, okay. I think I might have done something with, I guess, Victor, maybe. I don't know. What could we have done that shames my legacy?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean,
Say, what does shame your... could have been looking for something like for the Aeon Corporation, like off the books, which like just, you know...
Could I suggest something maybe like less comic booky, maybe, but maybe like more. So like Victor saved you very publicly, and like you're like the female icon, right? Like I just wondered
no,
if
I don't like. I really don't like
no,
that. I
no,
really
fair enough.
don't like that.
I was just wondering if it was like a PR thing, like because of
No.
yeah, fair enough then.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like the dynamic, because we've got 3 guys and 1 girl, and she gets saved. No, sorry.
No,
I'm not
I
into that.
mean, no, I don't mean it as in you're being saved. Like, I think it's just
And
like the shot,
we can
Never mind.
always feel free to like rewrite a relationship question, like because I'm pretty sure one of the doomed questions is not going to apply to Hollow at all.
I have a plan for it.
I've maybe an idea, because maybe we just were at a nightclub and then something. Maybe I lost a bit power. Maybe what we did was we lost a bit of control of our powers, and we're showing off a bit, and then something got broken, and that would shame my legacy, because public shenanigans and collateral damage. That's not a good look.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so maybe we were just like cutting loose, and well, then it was like, are you faster? Am I faster? And hey, can we go through that door if we're that fast? And oh yeah, we could.
Yeah,
so the proprietor didn't like that.
Works for me.
And then I have, you trust blah, and told them an important secret of your legacy. Okay, I trust. Who do I trust? You. Huh. I think I might have entrusted that secret to Hollow, because he's not from around here, and he probably couldn't do much damage, hopefully. But the secret is that we don't really know if we were really chosen by the goddesses, or if that was just we never talked to them. That's just we're just claiming that. That's just that at some point one of these things appear and tell us, hey, you're chosen, and then they go away, and that's that. Or maybe there's more to it, and we don't know. Maybe it's something from another dimension, and wants something sinister.
We don't even know if it's a real goddess.
If it's a real what? No,
if it's a real goddess.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Ooh, I like that secret.
Yeah.
Okay, up next are joins questions.
Sure thing. So my first one is when you have problems with your other half, you talk to. I think actually because I like the symmetry on this. I think that when I have problems with my other half, I talk to Hollow. For probably actually kind of similar reasons to Sunny, in that Hollow is kind of a isn't from around here, so it feels like kind of safer almost to unburden myself to him.
I feel like Hollow has developed like a reputation on the team as like a really good listener. Because like he doesn't judge, he doesn't like interject anything. Most people are like, oh, he's so good at like being empathetic and like putting other people's needs ahead of his. Actually, it's just like, I have no context for this. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna smile and nod and make appropriate facial expressions.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
I feel so glad that Hollow is getting like all these relationship ties, but I feel so bad for him at the same time. But yeah, your last question.
Sorry, yeah, that's me. Yes, you are jealous of the relationship between your other half and blank, and you keep trying to interject yourself. So yeah, I think that I'm jealous of the relationship between Alan and Sunny, and I keep kind of trying to get in there. That's possibly what led to the whole, incident at the club that time, trying to sort of show off, and yeah.
Now, are you more jealous because like they appear more like traditionally heroic than you do, or like they're like actual like off-team relationship?
That's a good question. Maybe a bit of both.
We could wait until Will has done his, and we
Yeah.
know what the relationship between Sonny and Ellen actually is. So
Okay.
we can see what you're jealous of exactly.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So yeah, but you are jealous. This feels Monster Hardy.
So that would be me then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So relationship. Someone knew me from my civilian life first. I mean, the obvious one is Void, right? Like Void had to know me from my civilian life first. So
yeah.
Should I just go with that one? I feel like that's maybe like
redundant.
Well, yeah, but also like I feel like just having everybody know is a bit.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, who would you not tell about your?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? So
I think whoever you don't tell, maybe Void hasn't told as well.
Yeah,
oh, okay, that's an interesting.
I feel like they're both interesting questions because if it's like, yeah, if you choose Victor, it means I'm very close about the secret. I haven't told anybody else on the team. Whereas if you pick somebody other than Victor, it means I have let somebody else in.
Yeah.
That's like the telling part of that question.
So I tell you what, I refuse to tell. I think I refused to tell Hollow. I think when they asked about it, because I'm not. So my second question is I refuse to tell somebody my secret identity when they asked. So I think I refuse to tell Hollow when I asked about my secret identity because yeah, and I am going to go with Victor from my civilian life first because I want to sort of like have that secret identity like be more meaningful than just like the average. It feels like the Janus is all about like the secret ID, whereas like obviously all superheroes kind of have a secret identity, right? Like to an extent.
Yeah. Plus, you took the move that gives you bonuses when you like unmask yourself, so I think that makes it more potent of a move.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish I had a secret identity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so I think this means that Void is really more jealous about your and Artemis's working relationship.
Yeah. Maybe we have like a fastball special style move.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we just click when we're doing hero shenanigans, or maybe it's just in Void's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I think that choice is also kind of telling of like the different dynamics that we have with the superhero relationship. Like Sony gets it. She's like, yeah, no, secret identity, keep that as long as you can. Like, I envy you. And just like wouldn't ask. And Hollow's just like, hey, you want to hang out off the clock?
Yeah. And you've got no context for it either, like properly. So yeah, you're like, secret identity?
Like,
what do you mean?
Secret identity from
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Okay.
Okay. And finally, the Doomed questions.
Okay. So I told Blank all about my doom and the danger I'm in. That's probably Sunny, just because we were already talking about like dark secrets about like the origins of our powers. So yeah, I think he'd cracked a little bit on that.
Okay.
And then I have a very interesting question, which is: you'd love to kiss Blank before your doom comes, and I think, for reasons, the more interesting counter question to that is: who would be interested in kissing Hollow?
Yeah, Victor definitely would.
All right, so I think the answer is Victor, not because because Hollow himself is like pretty ace arrow, and also it's just logistically a nightmare because he's a hologram. But he's like, oh, Victor really wants to kiss me, and I like Victor, and I want him to be happy. He kind of gets treated like the kid on the team, and that's not cool. I want to do something nice for him, but I don't, like, he doesn't know how. He's trying to like figure out the math.
Yeah, this is like a very like arrow thing to do. It's like, well, I think this will make them happy. Like, and once they have this, that'll be all they want, right? Like it stops here. It never goes further. Yeah, but okay. Do we want to do how the team got together first, or when the team got together first questions, or the loaded questions first?
I'm flexible.
Let's do the team. The loaded question sound really fun, and I'm really excited about that. Let's do the team came together questions first, because I already know them.
Okay, so there is a specific order that these go in, and for the way that we have our playbooks, and thanks to Chris Newton for this list that has all the extra playbooks in it. So, because there is an order to this that needs to be maintained. So we will be going Janice, Joined, Doomed, Legacy. So, Null, when the team came together...
When the team came together, where is it now? I can't find it.
They are all in the character keeper with the copy of masks.
Yeah. Sorry, there we go. When the team came together, there we go. We saved the life of somebody important, either to the city or us. Who was it? Why are they important? I think. So is it somebody important to the team or to me?
It can be either, and like this can be someone like you're making someone up. This can be like a different person in the Aeon Corporation, or just like we happen to save the life of the wife of this superheroine that just was like off on another mission at the time.
Sure. We saved the life of... Oh, man, I've closed that. I've somehow closed that Modern Age Comics. So I was just going to choose a name at random from there. We saved the life of the head of the Optimax Corporation.
Ooh.
Who is, I noticed, is in there as a sort of Lex Luthor-y type character.
Yes, I've played with their Scion son, I believe.
Okay, cool. Well, then, yeah, that's who we saved.
Oh, this is going to throw his PR department into a nightmare.
And why they're important? Because they're the Lex Luthor of Gauntlet City, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, let me get to where I'm. Okay.
What is it? It is Phoebe T. Book was the name of the Optimax Industries.
Okay, that's different than the one I. Okay, so I haven't played with this one, Scion, but still. Okay, and next, our joined.
Yes. So my question for this is, when our team first came together, the connection between our two halves was threatened by the crisis. How and by what? I think. Oh, actually, I quite because I saw them when I was looking at that list earlier. There's a duo of speedsters called the Gemini Twins,
Yeah.
and I think maybe they were kind of our opponent or part of our opponents in this fight, and I think they. Because they are likewise, sort of connected in that way. They knew how to counteract our kind of teamwork better than we were expecting.
Ooh, that's. They're going to have to show up again, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Is that all you wanted to?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay, then. So
Yeah, that sounds good.
next is our doomed.
All right, and then we paid a high cost for victory. What was it? And then, like, I want to say that the corporation has files on us now.
Ooh, because the Ultimax Corporation, I will say, is doing this PR stunt where basically it's trying to become the next Aegis. Like, its soldiers are what's needed, not superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Ultimax has files on y'all.
So, it's Optimax in the wiki.
Optimax, yeah, not Ultimax.
Yeah. I just before we start, like, parallel comic, we can always be one of those comic things where, like, we called it Ultimax once, and then like 20 issues later we're like, yes, Ultimax, the rivals to Optimax, like, we established 20 issues ago.
Yeah, and the final question.
Yeah, that's mine. That's the question. All things considered, we did well in the press and established hero. Who was it? And I kind of want to say it was my mom, because she's an established hero, and if she was impressed, then she would let me hang out with these guys and not be on my case all the time about this.
That works for me. And your mom is
Andromachy, which translates to man killer.
Oh, yay! I love her already.
Yeah, she named me Sonia for the barbarian queen in some comic books. So, and I have no idea who my father is, because, well, Amazons, they don't care about fathers. He was Asian, though. My mom was Greek, or American Greek, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, now we have loaded questions, and I wrote these in just a different order. So we're going to start with Victor. And if I ask for someone, or like when I ask for someone, I'm basically asking for an NPC. So yeah, who did you leave behind when you quit speed skating?
I think there was a guy on his team who we'll call him Tony Kai, who was obviously on the speed skating team. I think Victor was. I don't know if they were dating, but they were possibly getting towards that stage. But because he's dropped out the skating thing, he doesn't really see him anymore. Because I imagine this, we're not in like the frozen north here, so I imagine like there is like one speed skating team in the city that rather than like one per school sort of thing. So it's a slightly bigger separation than just like if it were at school sort of thing.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to get up and go deal with something real quick. I will be back. I should be back within 5 minutes. Feel free to treat this as a break, you guys.
Sounds good.
Wow, free break. Cool.
Yeah.
Now I can open my superhero Kinder egg and see what's in it.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah, well, we get lots of these. We had Star Wars Kinder eggs with funny Star Wars little figures.
You realize, of course, that I'm going to immediately buy a Kinder Egg after we finish this game.
At least you can.
Yeah.
I think in America they're illegal because they're too dangerous or something.
Yes, Americans will eat the toy within and sue them.
I have a superhero thingy. It's blue. He's blue. He has wheels. And I have to put him together, I guess. But once I've done, maybe I can show you what is that? Okay.
This is like an unboxing video. So.
Yeah, look, this is the head. Here's the head, and here's some sort of body thing, and there are some wheels, and now these are going to go together in some way. And I could look at the description. But
so now we've got another villain to add to Gauntlet City, the Blue Wheel. Like,
yeah, he has a name. I think. Wait, let me see. There's. I have to look at the description. There. Yeah. Well. Hello. Who are you? Doesn't say. Okay. Okay. So I put this. I put this over here, and then I put it together. Ugh. Sorry. Yes, like that. Come on. And, okay. I am too clumsy for this thing. How's this supposed to work? Sorry. Really bad at this.
No, Savine, it is a children's toy.
Yes, I know. I'm aware of it. I'm not a child, so
That's true. It's true.
I think that is excusable, since I'm not a child and haven't been for a long time. But I think I got it. Yes. Okay. Ha ha. Here you are. It's a speedster. Very fitting. Look at this thing. Ha ha.
Nice.
Yeah. So what? Oh my gosh. It's got a little mechanism that will let it run when I draw it back, and then it goes, and then it will fall off the table, of course. Yeah. And it hasn't yet, but.
Yeah, well, that's the Blue Wheel's only weakness is, short heights, basically.
Yeah, I like it. So wait, there was a description of these guys on that. That is Catboy. It's Catboy. I've got a Catboy. I don't know why he has wheels, but well, hey. Yeah, I think to represent that he's very fast. Okay, now we've got a villain for Ferret. Okay. Oh, wait. I can turn this into a fidget spinner. I mean, I wonder if this works. No, it doesn't.
Oh,
Oh, it does.
Oh, wow,
Okay,
nice.
go.
Nice. The gift that keeps on giving. Kinder eggs.
Yeah, these some of these are really fun. I have a car that I've had for a long time, and every time I get really bored or frustrated at work, I play with the car, and then I feel better about the world because it's a really fast car. I think sometimes I'm basically 5.
It's the best way to go through life.
Yeah.
Well, Roll, I am a very serious adult, which you can tell by the fact that I'm about to spend the next 2 hours pretending to be a teenage superhero.
Yeah, I am not a very serious adult. Oh, Ferret, you're back, and we have a new villain. Look, Catboy. He's a speedster with wheels. And you can watch the video and look at me trying to put it together.
Okay, so the next question for Victor is, what do you talk about to your grandmother that you won't talk about with Alan?
That's a good question. I think it's maybe when he misses his parents, or about missing his parents, I suppose, to reframe it to fit the question. But yeah.
What do you do to relieve stress?
So yeah, I think partly skating. I think he probably does like roller skate as well as ice skating because it's something that he can do more easily locally. And again, sort of tying to what I said earlier, he likes to dance, and I think he does try and sneak into clubs where possible, or get into ones that have like underage nights or whatever.
Okay, and the one question that everyone will have: are you interested in PC/PC romantic relationships? And the second part, PC/NPC romantic ones.
Yes, yes to both. I'm happy with either.
Okay.
Either and or both, as it crops up.
Gotcha.
Under
Next,
under the understanding that Hollow is going to be an absolute failure at it and a complete goofus.
Oh yeah, this is just like your interest in it, not if you're going to be good at it. Okay. Next is for Alan, our null. Who did you become friends with after you got your powers, and how have they changed your life?
A PC or anybody?
NPC, hopefully.
NPC, hopefully. I became friends with. Do you happen to know like another superhero on the mask? Because every time I click on the mask and face, I seem to bring up a villain rather than a hero.
You would probably be good to pull out from someone's PC characters, but if you want, I had a PC named Monochrome, who was a transformed, who was basically a monochromatic slime boy.
Monochromatic slime boy. Yeah, okay. I like that monochrome.
But he's a lot like Victor in that. But since he can look like he's 21 and up, he'll like go to a club looking like a 40-year-old sugar daddy, get in, then hit his normal age with his shape-shifting powers.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm friends with Monochrome.
Okay.
And yeah, I think we have fun messing around with the shape-shifting powers. And I think maybe this is where I let my hair down away from Victor, so that I can't be like blamed for leading him astray or anything like that.
Yeah, like like, if anything, like it's Monochrome's been a hero longer. If the blame's going to land on anyone, it'll land on him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you have a similar question, well, the same question as the joined. What do you talk about to your grandmother that you won't talk about with Victor?
Um,
The same thing.
yeah, I was going to say probably the same thing, but I think maybe from a different perspective. Because, like, I think that maybe Alan resents his parents more than he misses them.
Ooh. And I think you've already answered the other one with the what do you do to relieve stress, which is push the shape shifting powers to their limits.
Oh no, that monochrome shapeshifting power. I push my uh, what is it? Impossible mobility to its limits, like
Oh dear.
running up and around, running up and down skyscrapers and jumping off buildings and landing without a scratch and things like that.
Ordering an Uber, then trying to outrace it to your destination, which probably
Yeah.
always will happen.
Yes.
And are you interested in PC romantic relationships? PC and PC ones?
I'm not particularly.
Okay. So yeah, next up, Hollow. Who did you recently lose in the American Empire? Who or what took them from you?
I want to say I had a kind of like a ham radio setup where I was managing to kind of communicate with a couple of other people who were kind of out there. It became kind of like typical for like every now and then like somebody would just go like radio silent and you'd be like, oh shit, something happened. But there was somebody called Jean. I never got their last name, but Jean just kind of changed. Like she got, I guess, like reprogrammed by the American Empire and just kind of like went back to civilization.
Ooh.
And that kind of stung a little bit more than people just kind of like disappearing. Um, and also, I don't know what she told anybody about me. So, I mean, like, I didn't tell her like my location or anything, but you never know.
Understood. Who was your first friend on Earth? Or our Earth?
I don't know. Maybe it was like Quetzalcoatl. Like, I was just like completely sightseeing, just like ignoring everybody else. Like, I don't need to eat, I don't need to drink. If I'm tired, I can just like turn myself off and disappear. So like, as far as anybody else is concerned, I'm just kind of like a random tourist wandering around doing stuff. And then it would take somebody with probably a considerable amount of power to be like, hey, hey you, what are you doing here? You're from somewhere else or something like that. I don't know.
I like that. Just sort of like you're doing something, then like some guy comes up. Like I assume like you're so outlandish. Like some people will stop and take selfies with you because you're weird looking. But then like some guy does that. It's like, okay, so like can we talk about your employability options? My what?
Yeah. I mean, I think he does have the power to kind of like change his clothes if he wants to. Like if he wants to, he'll just like snap himself into like jeans and a t-shirts and like,
Okay.
he's been known to like turn himself into like jeans and t-shirts and like teleport like inside a museum or something and just like wander around, just like skip the front desk because he didn't have money, but he'll like just pop in and just like look at paintings and statues and things.
Yeah. So this is what happens if a bomb didn't drop on France back then. Intriguing. Okay, and I assume that probably answers the next question of where do you go on Earth to relax? Just museums?
Yeah, well, it's museums is like one of the things that he likes. He likes museums and libraries. Movies are great. but he also spends like a lot of time, I think, just like in public parks, just
Hmm.
like going around, or like he'll go like quote unquote hiking. He'll just kind of like pop into like teleport like up a mountain or something, and just kind of like watch sunrises and just enjoy visually, just like enjoy seeing the world and the sights.
I'm glad you said parks, because the hollowed park will be a big part of this series, I hope.
Yeah.
And the same question that I've given the others: are you interested in the PC/PC NPC romantic relationships?
Yeah. If I don't like need it, but if it happens, it happens, and I'll do my best to roll with it.
Gotcha. Okay, and finally, the load questions for Sunny and also Artemis. Um, who outside your family is close to you? And if you have to keep them secret, how do you communicate?
I think outside my family, I think there's this there's this bar we went to, the Gloomy Variant bar, and I think there is this barkeeper person that I kind of met, and I think that's a trans woman called Molly. She calls herself Molly Malone's probably not the name she was born with, but who am I to judge? And I don't talk much to her really, but just knowing that she's there, and she knows I'm probably underage, but like she cares about rules like that.
I like that. And where do you hang out that your parent or no one in your legacy will bother you?
Yeah, in that bar, I guess.
The Gloomy Orion?
The Gloomy Variant with a V. Gloomy Variant.
Yeah.
That's my favorite bar. It's a bar for, I think it's in the Pink District for sure.
Type out the.
Yeah, I'll type it out. Sure.
I want to make sure I.
Yeah.
Learn
I don't know if that makes sense, but I like it.
Oh, variant.
Variant. Yeah. Yeah. I know what the word looks like, what the words look like when they're printed, but pronunciation, got to learn.
That's perfectly fine. And like, there's different pronunciations depending on where you are in America, anyway.
Yeah.
Do you pray to Artemis?
What? No. I mean, no, I don't. I don't pray to Artemis. I guess my mother does, and my grandmother, they communicate with their goddesses, but I just, no. Not
Understood.
really.
And the question everyone's gotten: are you interested in the romantic relationships?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where is that going to go with somebody who doesn't really know what they're into or who they are, but yeah, sure. As a player, I am.
Okay. Well, I believe that's everything we need, and we can thrust you into the game. Do we want to take a break before I put you all like in media res of a mission?
Could I just have like a 2-minute break? Sorry, I just need to
Yeah,
go
that's fine.
sort the cat out for a second.
Yeah, I could do like
Right.
a quick food grab.
Yeah, let's do. Let's be back at 50 after the hour.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
7 minutes. Yeah. the entire team is here. Now, I think we will begin in a slight, like a comic book media res, like this, like we see the comic book cover with the special variant issue number 0 that everyone has to get out. If you lived in the '90s speculator boom, you're used to these kinds of comics. But the page opens up, and I think we're in whatever, like, I don't imagine we have an X mansion, but I think since this is Quetzalcoatl, a sort of, as I said, I've described it as sort of flamboyant. It is a rather showy venue of where our base is, and I think like we are in this, like the first panel shows the meeting room, and I want to have everyone go around and like put a detail in of this meeting room that lets us know exactly how colorful our Professor Xavier's XP is. But I think like this meeting room is what would normally be a kind of like a movie theater or a studio theater audience room with a stage instead of like where a screen instead of a screen. But besides that, this is like where auditions would be held. Null. What is one detail that Quetzalcoatl has added to this room?
He's a feathered serpent, right? Quetzalcoatl. Like,
Yes.
Does he take on human form? Like,
His favorite forms are human, like a very swarthy Hispanic man, and he generally looks like a cross between like if Antonio Banderas was on Twilight back in the day.
nice. Okay, that's a good call. I think that what's here is there are racks of very fancy clothes that like feathered suits and things like that. That he's like got so many like coats and fancy dues that it's just lined up around the wings of the stage.
Oh, and he always enters by like pushing through the clothes in a new
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, where like where's Cassie? Comes out there wearing a new hat or a new thing. Yeah, I like that.
Artemis, what is one of the, or Sunny, I should say, since we're not in combat, what is something that Quetzalcoatl has added to this locale?
Well, since he's a South American god, I guess, or though the Aztecs and the Mayans, they had a sort of a fascination with skulls. So there is some sort of decoration on the walls that are like masks, skull masks, but very colorful ones with mosaics, I don't know, on them, and then feathers on top, and they look like authentic, I guess, but they also look new.
Okay. And Void or Victor, what is another detail?
So yeah, I think like up towards the top of the ceilings, it's quite a highly ceilinged room. There's like a fine mesh netting all the way across the top, and if you look up, there are some quetzals, the bird, like a little tropical bird, that are roost up in the eaves of the roof. There's some like little perches and stuff for them up there, and they sort of flap about up there. Quetzalcoatl can possibly use them for like transporting messages across the city or something like that, but mostly they're just there for show.
Yes, and Hollow, what else is there?
Well, if you go like past the netting, the netting is kind of there to disguise the fact that even though this is more of like a movie theater stage setup, he's installed full catwalks with like stage lighting in like all kinds of different colors, and he's got them. I think like the team helped him like program like an app he can use. Timmy's got like a ton of different settings just like programmed into it that he can just like change them to like instantly. But yeah, he's got like all of these rotating lights and all of these different colors and focuses, and like he can set on like a full show at any time. And there's like one of like the default settings is one that just kind of creates, because like it's tiered, like the audience section is kind of tiered, and it's one that has like an angular set to it, so it like super exaggerates those different levels in kind of like a way that makes it look like a tiered pyramid going up
Ooh,
to the top.
I like that. And I think you all have arrived under like Quetzal Call with a bird. That probably like it. Like one of the apps you have is like a Ket's Call, which is like instead of Twitter, which is just y'all's like communication frequency. And
We don't just have a
Thanks, y'all.
WhatsApp group. We don't just have a WhatsApp group called Cats Call.
and you've arrived, and of course Quetzalcoatl himself is fashionably late, but the light pans down, making the pyramid appear in the seats. And tonight it is a red color as Quetzalcoatl comes out, dressed in dolomite finery, just like the most luxurious but fakest looking coat that you can imagine. A hat which looks like it either was gotten at Spencer's Gifts or Gucci, and you like it's impossible to tell whichever one because there are no labels on it. And these shoes, which I think have a Siamese fighting fish in the platform heels of each one, and he stomps forward just proud as he can be, and holds out his hands, and this cane just sort of like Willy Wonka appears and taps down. It's like my and oh yeah, we want to go with the team name of Artemis and the Nobodies?
I like it.
Okay.
Tonya and the Nobodies.
Yeah. I mean, that's maybe how we were disparagingly referred to. You know, like who's Artemis and these nobodies saved VBT book, and we're like, yeah, I like that.
Okay, if we must.
I thought you liked it, Sabine. If you don't like it,
No, it's fine. I think it's mostly Sunny who was like, okay, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Can change it now because I would have to explain it to Mom. Great, thanks. Yay.
Yeah, but the cane taps down the stage. He twirls it and tips it on his shoulder and smiles widely at you. It almost looks like his teeth should glimmer in like a toothpaste commercial stereotype. My nobodies and their dearest of leaders, it is so nice to see that you answered my call. I believe that we can put a good name in for ourselves currently, as it seems there's some mischief about.
Okay,
what's
what
happening?
kind of mischief?
And he like I think he like stands to the side. He goes stage right. The racks of clothing pull apart as like the back of the stage starts opening up to where there is actually a screen now. And I think like there is like a small opening of like an altar, which is just, and it's just like a with the name Altered Films Industries, because I mean he has to have a backup in case this team doesn't work out. And it shows the Dead End Queens, or at least a few of the Dead End Queens, currently. Because this is issue 0, of course, they're working on going after the Aeon industry, or at least one of the buildings owned by the Aeon Industries. And I think like, you can see cryptid, like it it looks almost like it's being filmed, and it like if you've seen those found footage movies, you can tell that this person's actually like this is probably actually real found footage because they're not running in to get a close up. They're not enhancing or anything. Like they're trying to dodge and stay out of sight, but while getting the pictures. But you see cryptid land and start changing into a Sasquatch before lifting a car and throwing it at the doors to the building. You see the plant woman with these huge, like palm tree wings, flapping and carrying the man in the armor and setting him down as they start walking into the building. And you hear the person behind the camera. Oh shit! Oh shit! They haven't seen me. They haven't seen. Like then the Sasquatch's eyes turn and stare at the camera. The camera goes behind like begins shaking, and you can just hear the footsteps running. It goes off, and Quetzalcoatl taps his cane proudly. It's like, I believe the Aeon Industries are friendly towards us at the very least. I would prefer to keep it that way, don't all of you?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we should go and take a look at that. Are they still there?
Well, this was sent to. Well, I picked this up before it was sent to any of those torrid little zines online. So yes, it should still be going on.
So I guess we better hustle over.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. See you when you see you. And then I get, and then you can see the speedy lines when somebody's running off.
I would say, like, we do have someone who can teleport us all there if they want. Hollow. You're muted, Sydney.
Yeah, I was going to ask, can I teleport everyone? I have a move called Portal, which just means I can show up in any scene I want as long as I take Doom. I didn't know if I could bring other people.
I would say you can bring. Usually, I would say like like everyone has to be touching. Like you can if you can put like both hands on two people, you can drag them with you. Or if like everyone's holding hands and like all are connected to you, you can take them with you. But
I don't know. I think for like the way that Hollow's powers work, where he's literally just like a hologram, he can turn himself on, turn himself back on somewhere else.
Okay.
It makes more sense for me. I think if he can't, and it's
Okay.
like basically just him, but I think he would be like he wants to prove himself. Like he's new on the team, and like the team is new, and he's like, well, I can go scout ahead. It's fine. And he just kind of like there's like a click, and then just Hollow's not there anymore.
Okay. So Mark, you do. I assume everyone else is pretty speedy, I believe. So you guys are making your way there at the speed of Super Flash.
Yeah, I think like wow, Sunny is like she's a speedster, right? Like she can run super fast.
I have legendary speed, whatever that means. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty fast.
Yeah. So you're like, sprinting down the streets at like ridiculous speeds, and then up above you can see the shadows of like the shapes of a null and void, like leaping from building to building and like doing sick flips and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I will say that Hollow will get there first, but not by much. So you have a chance to assess the situation before anyone gets there.
Yeah, I will do that.
And the role for your party is in the safety tab. So you would just like under label, I would put your like Hollow, and then put roll 2d6. Okay. Choose a color.
Okay. Nice. Ooh. So I think I got. Is that a 9 total?
I think that is an 11 total.
Well, my superior is -1.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, yeah, I was thinking of your savior. So yeah, that's a 9.
Okay.
No, your superior is -1. That's correct. So you get to ask 1.
Okay. What here can I use? Okay, so just like flavor-wise, I pop into existence, and what's going on?
Yeah, you pop into existence, and I think you see this where the Sasquatch was. There is now a golem who is has one huge stone arm covering the plant person, and there are all these like armed like SWAT team level guards shooting at them with the generalized like rubber bullets of this kind of era.
Okay.
And you see the guy in armor like holding out a shield, and like under that he's like chanting with this like it looks like it's like this wand made out of like a rose handle. So like it could be edgy, could be gothic, could actually be useful.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so as far as we're these are the guys we're trying to stop. We're trying to help the dudes with the rubber bullets.
Yes, you're trying to help the Aeon Industries, and you know these people as the Dead End Queens. They are at best they are mercenaries. At worst, they just don't care about other people.
Okay. I'm gonna say, what can I do to end this quickly?
To end this quickly, it would be best to take Cryptid out. The person who is currently a golem, she is their leader.
Alrighty then. And I know the slightly heavier hitters. Well, I'm probably one of our heavier hitters. So I'm just going to see if I can. Can I unleash my powers to just like pick her up? It's like if she's all muscles, then if there's nothing to push off of, and she's just floating in the air.
Yeah, you could definitely take her mobility from her with your powers.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
So yeah, unleash and take +1 forward to this.
Okay.
So just click on each of those dice and click reroll selected.
Okay, I got the same thing. +2, so 12.
+3, so 13.
Okay. Well, my danger. Oh yeah, you're right.
Because of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're using telekinesis, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So you just how do you focus your telekinesis? Do you like concentrate? Do you like do physical lifting motions or anything?
Yeah. No, I think it's a lot of just like kind of like quick mental calculations. All of the actual work of doing this is happening back at my sanctuary, so I'm mostly just like trying to get a good look at it. There's kind of like a really like math kind of look on his brain, and then he manages to get it to work. Like sometimes you can kind of see him like some people have like thought that he does magic because sometimes his like fingers will like wiggle and stuff like that, and it's actually just him like shadow typing.
Yeah, I think like in the comics, it is represented those like Sherlockian numbers moving around. It's like they're lifted up, but like, it looks like they're being lifted up by math.
Yeah, calculus meme.
Yes. And I believe like as soon as the golem is lifted up, like the bullets just start hailing in on Venus Flytrap, and there is like this moment of confusion on her face, and you realize this because she turns her head like an owl and stares at you like you are just the most interesting thing that she has seen in a while.
Yeah,
and I believe this is when the rest of the team shows up with their speed.
Yeah, I just sort of like wave awkwardly at her as the rest of the team swoops in.
Yeah, and so I believe we are now going against a powerful threat. So the team pool has 2 to start with. who do we believe the leader is this time?
Artemis, I would say. Sunny.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just the
Yeah.
nobodies.
Yeah. I guess I have to. I mean, okay. I have my bow out, and I have morphed. I think I can do that, right? When I'm running and arrive, then I will have my Artemis costume on, which mostly consists of some sort of Greek-looking tunic and a bow, of course, and the arrows over my shoulder. They never seem to run out of arrows, so.
Okay. So, do you have influence over every other teammate?
I do not.
Okay. What is your purpose in this fight?
Well, yeah, stop the attack, I guess.
Does everyone else have that same purpose?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will add an extra 1 to the team.
Yes.
Does anyone mistrust Artemis?
No.
Okay, and you guys are not ill prepared, so we will start this with 3 team. So yeah, I believe like with you guys on, like you guys get to the location. I think just as the line of guards are at the reload phase of their setup, they begin reloading the ammo, and that's when the guy with the armor on, or as you guys know him as Blue Rose, holds up the rose wand, slams it on the ground, and lots of vines and thorns start wrapping around these guards, holding them in place. More because like if they move, there's thorns.
Mhm.
It's not like squeezing them or harming them, but if they start to struggle, it'll
That's
harm
nice.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I believe that since our legacy is the one who is leading this team, you must be the vanguard for victory, shouldn't you?
Sure, yeah, sure. I
But
will engage. I will engage Blue Guy. I mean, I will shoot an arrow at his wand, and then I will, of course, serve him up with a blow by the bow. Well, it looks very Legolas.
well, I also want to offer you the chance that do you maybe want to defend these guards by taking out the wand
Yeah.
before the spell is complete?
Oh yes, right. I want to defend the guards. That's a better choice. I should stop trying to be my weapon guy. I'm not.
Yeah.
So let's not directly engage. Let's defend. Defending is better. Yeah.
Yeah. Roll plus savior.
Yeah, I'm better at. I'm a lot better at savior than at danger. I'm not very dangerous. Yeah, I've got an 11.
Okay, so you do it, and do you have the legacy move that gives you a bonus on the defending?
I have no idea.
Let's check.
I know what I am when I defend a teammate.
Oh,
No,
teammate.
no,
Yeah.
no. Powerful blow. Nope. I have just the normal stuff. Defending. Where is it?
Okay, so you can add a team to the pool to give it a total of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Take an influence over Aeon security, or clear a condition.
Okay, I think I will add a team to the pool.
Okay.
Can't hurt.
So the team is at 4, and so how do you defend? How do you stop this spell from going off?
Yeah, well, as I said, I put an arrow through the wand and kind of deharmonize the magical energies running through it, so that the plants will stop attacking. They won't just vanish, but they won't be at. They won't choke them. They can get rid of them if they're careful. They probably get a bit of ripped armor and stuff like that, but nothing too bad. And then I will stand before them and yell at these evildoers that now we are here. They will cease and stop what they are doing, what they are thinking that they are doing, because otherwise we will kick the crap out of them.
And I think Blue Rose like snaps back when the wand is broken by that arrow, and takes his shield and steps in front of Venus flytrap and draws his rapier and sort of like gives you this bow of challenge. But yeah, our Janice and joined. Are you guys going to team up to take on these two? Or these three, since
What?
one is
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah. Shall we, Victor?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Okay. How is that a move? Like a joined move?
Well, there is
or-
a bond that Void has taken that might be very interesting right now.
Yeah, so I have the Bond fastball special. I can't think where I got that name from, which is when you perform a coordinated fighting maneuver with your other half, say who takes the lead and who assists. The leader rolls the adult move, overwhelm a vulnerable foe, and the assistant marks a condition.
Okay. Now,
So we have
what
that.
do you-
And that's something either, obviously, we both have to be working together, but either of us can trigger that one.
Cool.
So
yeah. I mean, you say who you want to do. You want to lead, and I assist, or what? What should we do?
I will say, stat-wise, Void should lead because his mask allows him to switch his mundane with danger for 1 roll per session.
Yes. So yes.
Oh,
I think that's a good time. So.
no, I've got Freak actually as my mask. So
Oh, then Null should
yeah.
lead because Null's the one with danger.
Yeah, cool. Well, then Null will lead. Time for the special, yeah? And
yeah, sure thing. And I think what this looks like, I think maybe they're like on a building overlooking where the fight's going on. And I think that essentially Void is going to grab onto Null's hand and jump off of the building and essentially just fall down to the ground, but sort of put out his hand to brace against the ground as they hit, and then transfer that sort of kinetic energy into Null.
Yeah.
I like the idea, you're sliding down the building with one hand, the other one holding Null, but you're picking up all the increased mobility from the friction, and you throw him before you land, just a complete right angle.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Maybe he just freezes, just suddenly stops on a dime, kind of, no movement whatsoever, and it just whiplashes north straight forward. Cool. Okay. So and then I go I think
you roll danger.
Yes.
But do you want to switch your danger with your mundane score for this roll?
So my mark is actually in Savior.
Ah.
But I do have a 1 in danger.
Okay, then let's roll your danger then.
Slightly more dangerous than Void. Oh, cool. I get a 11.
Okay, so you have the adult move. Let me find out where. Let me pull up that because I don't think I have it. Oh no, that's in the basic moves as well.
So I've got. I choose 1. I can either take a powerful blow in turn, I can hurt my foe more than intended, or I can cause some serious collateral damage. And who would we be attacking here? That's
what I was going to ask. You could be attacking Cryptid, the golem who is lifted up by telekinesis. You could be attacking Venus Flytrap, the one who has taken a barrage of the plastic bullets, or you could be going for Blue Rose, who is challenging Artemis.
I think Artemis can take Blue Rose. I think I will go for Venus Flytrap.
I will say that Hollow would you have told them to take out Cryptid because of your assessment?
Oh. We could go for Cryptid. Why not? I was just choosing one at random, anyways.
Okay.
Makes more sense to be Cryptid.
Yeah.
I'd have broadcasted that.
Yeah,
a little tiny Hollow appears in front of all of us
and
says,
I say as I lift her obviously into the middle.
Yeah, cool. And that seems perfect. She's all lined up and ready to hit as well. So and I think I will let's just have a quick look at Cryptid. Cryptid is she's big and strong, right, at the moment?
She is a golem right now. She is basically just a bunch of stone.
Cool. I think we cause some serious collateral damage. as I smash into her and then send her flying back into like like a cop car or something that just then goes like flying back further as all of that energy is just transferred out into like the massive blow.
I think like there's like this moment where like the sonic boom is like just expanding outward as Null has hit contact with Cryptid, and all that kinetic energy is transferring into her, and then just like those balls which clack against each other, she goes ricocheting off, shattering into the Aeon building, and I think it's like she takes out this line into it and falls out of the building, then lands on a car, rolls into another car, and like you hear like the first alarm goes off and dies, the second alarm goes off and stays on, the third alarm goes off and stays on. But like I think you just see like all the rocks beginning to crumble around her, and it is just Cryptid as her normal self, just completely knocked out, resting against the cars.
Yeah, I like it. Superman punch for a building. Classic.
Yeah. And with that, I think you see Venus Flytrap expand her palm leaf wings again and take off through the large gap that has been made in this building to go pick up her sister. And the Blue Rose just drawing this line on the ground in mystical energy as he disappears to go deal with his teammates, but you have driven them off with just some collateral damage right now. So yeah, I think like the people who like the Thorns are now dying because of that wonderful counterattack with the arrow and Victor, don't forget to mark a condition for fastball special.
Yes, I marked insecure because once again he's made Null look like the competent one. So,
oh, poor Victor. And but the security guards are coming over, and I think some of them are looking at the damage that has been done, and I think because of like the name of the team, most the leader of this security force is coming over to Artemis. And
yeah, I'm looking at my teammates, and I'm looking, and before dealing with them, I will nod to them and say, "Hey, well done. That was good."
Yeah.
And then I go and try to spin the collateral damage, which I've heard my mother do so many times. So yeah,
Yeah, I think Null is just sort of like standing with his hands on his hips, like staring at the big hole in the building and sort of going like. And I think I turn to Void as he comes up behind me and I go like, "Look what you did, man."
Hey, anyone reviews the security cameras on that, it's totally you that did it.
I mean, you threw me, man. Like,
yeah, but you landed the punch.
Yeah, you got to be more careful. I mean,
and I mean, don't forget you can also blame Hollow. He was the one levitating Cryptid.
Oh yeah, but I totally blame my little brother. Like,
I'm talking to Victor. Victor can blame Hollow. I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the security guard looks at Artemis like, this was, you guys came so quickly. They didn't have time to, well, they didn't have time to get into the building like they wanted.
Yeah, well, they got in fast and they left fast, right, man? Like, holds up his hands to high five him.
Yeah, I think there is like this. I think there is like a panel of just you holding up your hand. The next panel, like the guard looking at your hand. The next panel, like the walkie-talkie crackles in, like says like this code, or like hey, the targets are on the move, and looks down at I think then like the next one is just you looking at your hand and the guard looking at his walkie-talkie.
We have any idea what they were after?
Yeah.
And I think the guard looks over at Hollow, and that's above our pay grade. We're just supposed to keep them out.
Did they say anything?
No, they threw a car through the doors, and we sort of swarmed in after that.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think between the 4, you probably have enough to get like at least 2 of the cars up and running again.
And he again like looks up and down and shakes his head. Like, the cars belong to workers in the upper floors. I believe they're paid enough to have insurance for this kind of stuff.
Well, then that's good and settled, I guess. You're all safe? You're all okay? Are they any injured?
No one's injured. Thank you for the assist with that wizardry or whatever he was trying to accomplish.
I think he just wanted to immobilize you. So
I saw the thorns on those things. That was a death trap. We would have all died without you helping us. So thank you, and
sure.
we will have a kind word for you in our reports.
Oh, cool. Thank you. That's what we're here for anyway.
If I were them and I tried a frontal assault and I got my butt kicked, I would probably, and if I wanted something badly enough, I'd probably come back later and just try a stealth attack. So like,
we'll have more guards assigned. Don't worry, we can take care of our own.
All right. Do we have like hotlines? Do we have like a business card for Quetzalcoatl that we can hand out?
Oh, of course. And you know it's got to have like the rainbow foil letters on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, then I give him one. You call us if they come back. Well, we're pretty fast.
I think he looks down like, never heard of this team. You guys must be new.
Yeah, well, you've heard of us now.
Yeah, man, we're the nobodies, and this is Artemis.
I'm Sonya, the chosen of Artemis, and these are null and void, and that's hollow.
Yeah, we're looking to make a name for ourselves and do what we can to help in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at least someone's doing some protection around this area. We'll start cleaning up this mess, and he like tips the card. We'll send our bill your way.
I think Hollow is like in the background, just like picking up rocks like telepathically and just like putting them back on the wall. He's used to having to fix everything on his own. He hasn't quite figured out the concept of insurance.
And I tell him, hey, you can send the bill their way, right? Not ours.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to send it. We're not the ones who launched a rock through the structure. And
dude, seriously? Would you have preferred to face them without us? I mean, are you really going to make an issue out of that?
Ooh, it sounds like you're provoking.
I feel like on the roll.
I'm shutting him down. No, wait, that's the wrong game.
Yeah, you're provoking him to
Yeah, I'm trying to
not give you a bill. So yeah, roll plus superior.
Is there a health move in this
wow.
game?
There is. Can we use team?
Yes, you can.
But I've got a 5, so I don't know.
People can, because you're not adjusting the stat of the roll, you're adjusting the result. Mm-hmm. Every team member, if applicable, can spend team to boost your result.
Do you want to do it? Someone want to do
it? We have 4 teams, so only 2 people need to do this to push to a 7.
Yeah, Hollow will just kind of be like, well, on the path that Sasquatch was rolling, she probably would have punched a second hole on her way out anyways.
No, void.
Yeah, and I'm sure like whatever they'd have stolen if they had got past you would have been worth far more than patching up a couple of walls. He'll kind of wave in an offhanded way. Thankfully, his face is his expression is not visible through the mask as he looks at kind of the the comedy bit of like ducting collapsing down from the ceiling and clattering across the floor as sparks come out. And
yeah. We really saved the day, yeah. And then I think as I say that, that's when the duct goes onto the ground and collapses. Like, yeah.
And they would have caused more damage going in and coming out. So
yeah, I think he's going to air and give you an opportunity, and I think that opportunity comes with like the actual like a liaison, like an actual up, like a higher up from the Aeon Industries comes out of the building to check on the squad, and gets their story and just kind of like frowns when they hear we were going to send the charges their way. We have insurance for this. We can cover it. And like this person comes over, and this is just this very like handsome, but not nearly as handsome as Quetzalcoatl man in a lab coat with this name tag on it that says like Johnson, comma Davis, and he holds out his hands like, "Thank you for saving what is probably some kind of prototype of what we're working on. Aeon Industries is always attempting to make the lives of those of Gauntlet City better and brighter and worth living in the future. We're not sure what they're after, but we are certain that the lives of our citizens will be much better thanks to every one of your efforts."
well, sure, we're here to help. I mean, I think that other guy gave us our card, so if they come back, call us.
You will be the first one we call.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think you guys can definitely we have time for scenes of team building, or like, does anyone want to share a triumph perhaps as you are walking off, or like where will you guys go now that you have
Yeah, you want to go to the club, all of you, just to, I don't know, celebrate or something?
I'd love to. I've got to clock in over at Aeon myself. Like the doc's gonna need me to clean up the labs and things. I need to get back to my internship, basically. Like, Vic, you should go though.
yeah, I'll come along.
Cool. Hello?
Yeah.
About you?
Yeah, I mean, like, unless you want me to tag along to Aeon, I guess I'll go to the club.
Oh no! Do not tag along with me to Aeon. No,
Okay.
not again. I had to explain the holographic figure walking up behind me. It was not connected to me last time.
All right,
Like,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Oh, Alan, if you happen to find out what they were after, I mean, might be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I'll ask around. So, what are the team moves? The team moves are to like, how do we do? Like, so it's just going to be like
share like
high
this when
five.
you yeah, like it needs to be like some kind of something that makes you feel like you're sharing a triumphant moment, like a.
So, I was thinking of maybe like after sort of like blaming him and making him feel bad earlier, I'd turn to my brother and go like, "Hey man, did you see how hard we hit that? We hit her, like, oh my god," and like high five him, like, look at how good we are, man. Look at how good we are.
Yeah, we really we really showed her. That was impressive. Like I said, you landed that strike like bam, dead on.
Hey man, you threw me dead on. Like, couldn't have done it without you, bro. Like, which I've not got the move, like any of those written down anywhere, like how this actually works, like mechanically speaking. But
With the Janus, when you share a team,
yeah,
a triumphant celebration, ask them if they see you as the person wearing the mask or the person underneath.
yeah. So who does Void see me as? Like, does he see me as his like overbearing like brother, or does he see me as like the hero who's taken down, like, saved things?
I think in this moment, it's more he's actually, I think because, he's been that bit more open and supportive. I think at the minute, Victor does see him more as his brother than the hero.
Okay.
So normally that would mean if you revealed yourself to them, you would gain influence over them, but you
I
already
already have all of that. Yeah.
and you don't want to reveal yourself in front of these two.
No, but what's the inverse of this one? Like, if I'm
Uh,
sharing a triumphant celebration with
yeah,
Victor, does Victor not get to do a move
the
as well?
joint. Let's.
I specifically don't get mine with you.
Oh, specifically. Then I would not have done
mine
that.
is no, that's cool. No, mine is when I share a celebration with someone when my other half isn't there, I get to do stuff. But
Well,
Yeah.
well then, sweet. Well, you get to do that immediately. Yeah.
I think and as you are leaving, I want to roll your obligations null.
Oh, how
So
do I
roll
do
me
that?
plus mundane.
Sweet. Can I? Oh, I've not shifted those. Good. I'm still at 3 in mundane rather than 3 in savior. Cool. I get a 10.
Okay, you will get an opportunity from one of your obligations, which I'm assuming is going to be your internship at Aeon.
Yeah, that seems like a good one, doesn't it? The internship at Aeon, and yeah. So I guess I go to the lab and like see if it's still standing or if I manage to take out that part of the building as well. Like,
Yeah, you will head off to the lab. I think as you head off, there can be a chance for the others to celebrate it with each other if they would like.
I think Hollow will swing by and just he picked up the blue rose wand that got knocked to the ground. It's still got an arrow stuck out of it, and he brings it over. He's like, "Hey, Sonny, I got you a trophy."
Oh wow! Thank you. Cool. Yeah, I'll change now. Sorry, I don't like this dress. I think Sonny will have changed as soon as they could because this dress is. Oh, I think they hate it. Yeah, and they look at you and say, "Hey, that was a great fight. I mean, everybody just was so good. You know what? I really hate this dress. That's just so stupid. We all have these dresses. They manifest, and nobody knows where they came from anyway. And I really rather wear pants. They're far more comfortable.
So I think Hollow was sharing a triumphant celebration, and you were sharing a weakness or vulnerability, Sonny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since the Doom's triumphant celebration is much simpler, let's do that. So that would mean Hollow, you can give Sonny influence on you, and then spend one team to clear 1 point of Doom.
Cool.
Do I want to spend the last team? Are we going to
You
get
have
back?
a 2 team. And at every time, at beginning of every session, I add 2 team to the pool. And every time you go into a battle against a serious foe, we do that thing that we did before, but team refills.
Okay.
And you currently have 2 points of team.
All right. Yeah. So I'll take one to drop my Doom track down.
Okay.
Just kind of recharge.
And the legacy's vulnerability.
It means I clear a condition. I don't have a condition, but I would have cleared it if I had one. And I'm giving you influence over me, which you already have, so you can go and shift my labels.
Woo!
How do you feel about shifting, like one freak over to superior?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like,
that's fine.
So freak down, superior
So
up.
here we are.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, Holo's just like, that was like so cool how you like just completely took charge and like started haggling with those guys.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I do this every day, whatever.
Yeah. Well, listening to enough stories of my mom told me about the whole thing, so should have thought about the insurance thing. Damn, I dropped it there.
Yeah. So all of you guys are like, oh, do they know your identity, Void?
No, I think probably not. If they don't know, I think for now, I assume that if they don't know Null's, they also don't know mine.
So
I would be absolutely happy, by the way, if they do know your identity, and obviously they know Null's, but you pretend that they don't know Null's. Like that's a secret that you keep from Null that you've told the other characters. But like,
I think that's a bit like with the Janice that might be pushing it. I find that very comedic, but that might be.
Yeah, I was just saying, like the options there. Don't feel
Yeah.
you have to protect my secrets. Like,
no, that's fine. That's
Yeah, so I think like so Void is the only one left in costume as Sunny is going back into civilian clothes. And I assume Hollow is changing into civilian display.
I mean, I will if people tell me to, but like otherwise, like that's.
I
Feels a lot
wouldn't.
better.
I mean,
I
I
think-
feel more comfortable this way. Wait, I'm not telling other people what they're supposed to be comfortable with. God no.
Yeah, but you guys are going to the club that give me a second.
I thought that was a sound effect for the club.
the club is on a train that goes around the
Club
city.
Spider train tracks, yeah.
It's the subway club. It's very underground.
The sub club.
Yep. Yeah. You guys are heading to the gloomy variant, I assume.
Yeah, sure. I mean, unless we change it to the sub club, because I love the idea of having an underground train running around and being a club.
I'm not sure about adding that. I'll see about adding that to Gauntlet City and see what people think about it because I actually do like that idea.
Yeah.
But
So let's keep it up in the air what kind of club it is. But maybe it's a sub club. Who knows?
Yeah. But you guys get to the gloomy. And I think Sunny is let in because people know them there. And Void and Hollow are let in because they're heroes. They get a bit of special treatment now. And I think this place does live up to it's a modern day goth club, which means that it does have like a bit of the hot topic sheet. Like goth has become enough mainstream. Like it's not like there's very little handmade or made exclusively for the club. These things look like they're sort of mass produced and were they're interesting, but they're not unique. And like even like the glasses seem kind of mass produced. They do look like goblets or and different styles of like old timey glasses and crystal, and you have the different kinds of wines being served. And I think as Molly Malone sees you, she pulls out sparkling apple juice and starts pouring it for you guys. And she slides I think this just normal, like as normal of a glass as gets, the gloomy variant over to Sunny. Like, so how are you doing?
Oh, good. I guess we did a thing and went well. I guess.
Oh, so you've put your mark on the town a bit more. That's great to hear.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think she like slides the glass over to Hollow. Doesn't realize that she's being impolite as hell at this moment because you can't pick it up. Well, you
No,
can pick it up. You can't drink.
Yeah, I think what he does is like he waits until he sees like an empty glass that's waiting. It's probably like a ways into the conversation. He's like, "Hey guys, check this out," and he like takes the empty glass, and he's like sneaks it behind his back, and he pretends to chug it, and it all falls into the one behind
Okay.
And I think Void is just going to nod and go, "Dude, that's cool."
That's wow. I mean, yeah. I guess you don't want to put up to have a drink, right, with us, Void. So it's cool.
The mask's not really designed for it. It's a bit of a design flaw.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Just nice that you're here. Do you dance?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So, well.
Yeah, I think Molly just nods like, I understand. I'll go put on some crew shadows. Now you guys hit the dance floor.
Sure.
I think we will leave. And I do not know if Hollow will join them on the dance floor, but I think we leave with that scene of several people heading to the dance floor as we go to the internship. And give me 1 second again.
Unless you want to share anything, Void. I mean, celebrate team move wise.
Yeah, I would say. I will say that that drinking stunt can count as
being a dork.
as Hollow sharing a triumphant celebration with Void. And I mean, you don't like it'll activate Void's move, but since you have no more Doom to not mock off, it'll bounce your move.
All right.
No, and I think as well the other thing I will say before we sort of actually get onto the dance floor proper, I'll say that that move you pulled with Cryptid was badass. That's your telekinesis is great.
Yeah, and like Holly just kind of like blushes like a little bit. And she's like, "Oh, thanks." Like he doesn't know how to respond to it, so he's just kind of like an awkward doofus.
Oh dear God, just masked her hearts. Yeah, so we will. I think we will see this wonderful group head to the dance floor, and as Alan enters the workspace, I think there are lots of janitors sweeping up dust, debris, all that thing. And you get you go to the elevator and you pull out your intern card and get inside, and you have to wait till the doors close, then you scan it, and it opens up that panel with the sub basement levels, and your clearance only takes you to sub basement 4, and your floor is sub basement 2, so that's fine. And
yeah,
you get down there, and I think there's just a lot of ruckus today, and I think as you're walking in, you bump into this really this woman who could not see over the amount of files she had. And the files go flying. You land on your butt. She lands on hers. This would be a meet cute if she was anywhere close to your age, but since this is the mystery comic part, as you look down and you, I think you just see this circled in red is vaccine, and around the circles are question marks in different colors, and each of those different colors have different notes under them, but you're not going to have time to read scan the notes before she figures out that something's happened. But I think she's struggling to pick up everything and has so many files that maybe she wouldn't notice if one went missing.
Maybe. What would that be?
I think this would be. Let's see. This would be. You could
I
provoke
was thinking
her
about.
to like note to think that say that she's late and see and she's doing something else, or what were you thinking?
I was thinking of Pierce the Mask.
Oh, that could also work. Yeah.
Yeah, and in this sense, see the person beneath is like, you know, they're intense kind of thing. Like,
Yes, that really works. So roll that mundane.
that is only a 4 on the dice, but thanks to my wonderful 3 on mundane is a 7. I could get used to having a mask character that's just all in one stat. It's great.
Oh, I remember that when I played my Janice for a bit. It was I comforted and supported like a beast.
Oh, I
But yeah,
should do that more often. Yeah.
ask your
I should have
one.
comforted and supported Victor. Oh, I'm such a bad brother.
Well, yeah, you are a bad brother.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, ask your one question.
Okay, my one question is going to be, I think, what are you really planning? Perhaps is the best one to sort of get as much information from this.
She's
What this
planning to
vaccine is.
destroy these documents.
She's planning to destroy these documents. Okay. Um. Okay. I mean, I have no real reason to suspect her of anything nefarious here. This is just, red herring material at this point.
Mm-hmm.
To become significant later. So I won't do anything more with that. Like, I think it would be very out of character for Alan to like work out how he can steal these random documents from a the shredder basically. Like, so yeah, I'll just apologize and be like, oh hey, let me help you with that. Let me help you with that, miss. Sorry.
Yeah, and she'll thank you. I think this time she sort of leans over, then dashes and leans over in the other direction, and keeps walking down the hall with them. And the last we see is you turning into Professor Henry's little research department, and I think she immediately hands you this her order of coffee for the day, which is all it's different coffee every day, but you always remember the 4 shots of espresso that go with it.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that and I think the panel, the last panel of the comic will be you turning in, getting that list, and then that's a little sub panel, and the major panel is you looking up and seeing this massive collar she's working on, a collar that looks like it may fit around a lion tank eating monstrosity.
Oh, cool. I like that. Yeah, sweet.
Okay, so that is the end of this session, everybody. We will get more in depth with how this game is going to progress next time. Thanks for everyone who watched, and I will see you all next session. We are going to be doing some debrief now. So goodbye.
Bye, Internet.